This is one of the most incredible cups of coffee I've ever had. Incredible. The texture, the taste, the aroma, the smell, it's just incredible. There's smoothness to it, the lightness to it, the right blend between bitterness and sweetness. No sugar added, but you can taste the natural flavors in it. And it has such a wonderful, full-bodied flavor. The weird part is that I've been having this coffee for a while now, and it is up there with one of the best, but it's not by far the best, most expensive coffee out there that I've had. But right now, this is the best cup of coffee I've ever had. But what's different? I was going here every day for months, and the taste, I was complaining about the barista. Maybe the machine needed cleaning. Maybe there's something wrong with the beans they're getting. Because over time, I was sort of just accepting it and taking it for granted, and it was just not doing the same thing for me. And today, the difference was, as I pondered it, is that I haven't had this coffee in 2 weeks. In fact, I've been using a stovetop because I've been in the bush, and I've not had a cup of coffee made in a coffee shop by a professional barista. And that's the whole thing, that when you have everything around you, you take it for granted. And so the most extraordinary thing like this cup of coffee becomes mundane. The people in our lives that are extraordinary human beings that I'm encountering again after not seeing people for so long, I'm like, all these people are so fascinating and incredible. And the different foods and the different flavors and the different things to do and see in the cities is incredible. But I took all of that for granted. Now I can't wait to go and have some fresh vegetables or this wonderful free-range chickens and making a pecan pie and all this kind of stuff that I didn't get. But they've always been here. But 2 weeks away from all of this in absolute stillness and away from any type of distraction, not seeing anyone, my senses are just so overloaded, and I'm loving every bit of it. And then it reminded me of what the great Stoics used to do. And it was Seneca and Marcus Aurelius as well, who used to go away and spend a day as a common person. They call them common person, or the plebs, or all the rest of it. But wear the clothes, basically get rid of all their fancy garments, sleep on the floor, sleep where they slept, eat what they ate, and lived like them for a day. And they were extremely wealthy people, as we know from history. But this kept them balanced. So we're not saying that, if you're not rich, you shouldn't have to do this. But the comfort and familiarity breeds contempt, and you take things for granted that are there all the time. So I would advise you all to retreat into a state of stillness for a day, for 2 days, whatever you can, because it's so invigorating to see everything you've taken for granted, or everything that you have in your environment, become alive again. And I'm loving it. And I intend doing this very often, but to make it in such a way that it's more comfortable. So if you can go for a night away, retreat somewhere, and sometimes it's not possible, then if it's not possible, then what you do is keep yourself indoors, away from all the distractions. Because if you're on your phone all the time watching YouTube videos, you're not getting that. But to deprive your senses from this continuous overstimulation and this endorphin rush we get from all the the lights and colors and videos and entertainments and people and places, then it starts to look at the environment that you've basically ignored and brings it alive. There's this wonderful thing about people that have their eyes restored. People that were blind and could not see, and now they've got this new technology that allows them to be able to see again. And they say that as soon as the lights are activated and the eyes are working again, when these people get to see with the eyes open, they get so overwhelmed that they're looking for a dark corner to retreat into, because the experience is so overwhelming on their senses, because they're seeing everything, because our minds are removing everything that we see all the time, so we see almost nothing. But they're seeing color for the first time. What red, orange, the textures, the intricate patterns and shapes in just one thing. And they're living that so strongly that they just can't handle it. It's a sensory overload. Yet we've basically numbed our senses. And so we can see the most beautiful of people, the most wonderful of food, the most fascinating adventures, on YouTube. But we're just looking for the next fix because we're dried up inside. It's just overstimulated, overused. So that's a wonderful lesson that I learned, and I'm so blessed to have had nothing, to have done nothing, and to have no distractions whatsoever. So I can come back and see life that I thought was so mundane and so routine for being this most extraordinary, miraculous, rich, detailed, diverse, exciting place for exploration, for adventure, for uncovering, for rediscovering. I hope that helped you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to this amazing cup of coffee and spend more time enjoying every last sip of it. Oh, what a taste. What a life. Take care. Bye.